What is up, everyone? I have another TIFF 2022 review for you, and this is for a pretty big one. The Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. A lot of you well know I was very, very, very into that first film, so going into this screening, the pressure was on big time, but not only did Rian Johnson meet my expectations for another Knives Out movie, but I really do think he surpassed them and did so in ways that I wasn't quite expecting. A brief synopsis before getting into the details here. Glass Onion sees the return of Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. The story actually takes place during the earlier days of the pandemic, during lockdown. Blanc's been itching for a good case, but instead, he receives an invitation to go to a private island in Greece. That island is owned by Miles Bron, a billionaire and self-proclaimed disruptor played by Edward Norton. That is where Miles is hosting a murder mystery party. As one might expect with a movie like this, that description right there is only scratching the surface of what Glass Onion has to offer. Given that this is a non-spoiler review of a whodunit with a bunch of twists and turns, some of my analysis here admittedly might sound a little bit vague, but I'm still very hopeful that my enthusiasm for this movie will still come across quite clearly while discussing the elements of it that really earned that level of excitement from me, beginning with Benoit Blanc himself. I quite enjoyed Craig's performance in the first film, but I actually do think that Glass Onion gives him an even bigger opportunity to show off greater range in that role while exploring this particular mystery here. I can't really specify why I am saying that, but at the very least, I'll tell you that while Craig still presents Blanc as, one of the sharpest detectives out there, I was really enjoying the sillier and more playful moments that he gets to indulge in, the vulnerability he gets to show off, and also how this case sparks a significant amount of personal responsibility and investment for him. I was really liking what they did with that character this time around. And then when it comes to the ensemble around him, really, everyone here is just perfectly cast. I am going to highlight some of my favorites of the bunch in just a moment, but I do want to do a roll call here because everyone is quite good. Of course, I already mentioned Norton as Miles. Then there's Janelle Monáe as his former business partner, Andy. We've also got the governor of Connecticut, played by Kathryn Hahn. Her name is Claire. Leslie Odom Jr. is Lionel. He's a cutting-edge scientist. Kate Hudson's a former model and wannabe fashion designer named Birdie J. We've got her assistant Peg, played by Jessica Henwick. Dave Bautista as Duke Cody. He's a controversial influencer. And then Madelyn Cline, who plays his girlfriend, Whiskey. Again, it is really hard to pick favorites with this one because I do think that it is top-notch casting across the board. And, then on top of that, you could really see and feel everyone just having a damn blast with these roles. But in addition to Craig, I do really need to highlight Janelle Monáe first. I think she's been popping in films and shows quite a bit for a little while now, but I would say with Glass Onion in particular, you could just really feel that undeniable screen presence that she has. If you want an example of an actor with the ability to make you lean in with a mere look alone, no dialogue, it is Monáe. She's really something else here. One specific dynamic in the film that I was really loving was Hudson and Henwick together. I was having a little too much fun just watching Hudson go big as Birdie J, but I also found myself becoming hyper-focused on watching Henwick and how she reacted to everything that Birdie J did, given that she's playing her assistant. So I got very into that, and I will say there's something similar going on with the Duke and Whiskey connection that was really drawing me in, and I was digging quite a bit. A little bit of a broader point about the ensemble here. It really is not easy to make sure that everyone in such a large main cast, especially a large main cast filled with big personalities, makes a big enough impression for everyone's ending in this narrative to actually mean something. And, there are chunks of the film where some of these characters get less time in the spotlight than others, and you lose some of them for a period of time. But ultimately, everyone has something to bring to the table in terms of, yes, delivering big, fun personalities who are really entertaining to watch, but also adding to the mystery, adding to the intrigue, beefing up the themes that Glass Onion is addressing, and then also earning their endings. All right, now, I also have to talk a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes because there's some very special work happening here. But I'm going to take this moment to highlight 3 individuals who worked on Knives Out and are also frequent collaborators with Johnson. It's composer Nathan Johnson, editor Bob Tugsay, and also cinematographer Steve Yedlin. I think I've become a little bit obsessed with Yedlin's work and the techniques and the tools that he's developed to pull off some of these visuals here. And I really just cannot wait until he starts doing interviews for Glass Onion because there is a lot going on in like really every single image in this film. It's just an opulent playground for him, and his work is downright dazzling. He knows exactly how to frame these different characters to bolster the actor's work, and even after one viewing, I am absolutely certain that his visuals are just brimming with details that speak to the truth of what's really going on here. He's a really big reason why I wound up overanalyzing Knives Out so much via rewatches, and I am betting the same thing is going to happen here. Nathan Johnson's score is also excellent again. He just knows exactly how and when to amplify certain beats of the story, and he's really key to keeping the energy of the film high throughout. And I mean, I guess the same could be said for Tugsay too. Pacing and knowing what to show and when is just of the utmost importance with a film like this, and yet again, he absolutely nails it. All right, we're gonna score this thing. I have a feeling you know where this is going. I'm giving Glass Onion a Knives Out mystery 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. I know this word gets a whole lot of eye rolls, but for what it's worth, I do use it sparingly, and it feels like it really applies here. Rian Johnson is a master at his craft. He just seems to me to have a next level understanding of the stories that he tells and knows exactly how to bring them to screen. Just like much of his previous work, Glass Onion is a hugely entertaining film, but it's also one that features pitch-perfect performances, a slew of technical feats, and also a story that is really rich in subtext and thematic relevance too. Johnson knows how to bring together a team of top-notch creators. He knows how to support them in delivering their best work, and also how to bring it all together to create a highly immersive and, I would say, pretty seamless experience. I just absolutely cannot wait for Glass Onion to hit Netflix so I can watch this movie over and over again and pour over every single frame of this thing. Clearly, I'm very enthusiastic about Glass Onion. I want to talk spoilers so badly. We have a little ways to go until we could do that, but when the time comes, you can bet I'm going to blab about every ounce of this movie that I loved. For now, though, I will leave you with that. Also, I'm not letting you leave just yet because I have a very important Patreon shout out to give because you are getting this review courtesy of Billy. You are all probably very familiar with Billy at this point, but I will repeat because it's important to emphasize when there are special people out there like him. Billy is a lovely, super supportive individual, and I have just been so grateful to get to know him over, I mean, man, it's got to be years at this point, and just to have him a part of the Patreon community. Billy, please know what a special member you are and how happy I am that you are here. To everybody out there, thank you for watching this review. You know what to do. Like and share it, and stay tuned. I'm not done with TIFF 2022. I got more reviews on the way. Coming up right around the corner, I promise.